Hello. Yeah. Okay. So welcome to book launch of My Friend Maya by Amber Zafar Khan.
Thank you.
Amber Zafar Khan is a homemaker and a cultural entrepreneur who lives in Abu Dhabi, and this is her debut novel. And thank you for joining us all today. Amber, congratulations on a powerful debut.
Thank you.
Uh, My Friend Maya feels deeply personal yet powerfully universal. What inspired you to turn this story into a book?
I'll just tell you a little bit about the book. So, My Friend Maya is a story about two friends, Seher and Maya, where Maya is the protagonist and also Seher. So, they're two protagonists in the story, and Seher is the narrator. The story is about their complex friendship. Lived experiences inspired me to write this book. So, yes, it is deeply personal, but it's not confined to the personal. It premises psychological disorders and substance abuse, and these are afflictions that exist and have existed across societies and generations. What begins as an intimate story slowly unfolds into something universal. What moved me What moved me to write this book was when I witnessed people suffering from these conditions, often continuing with their lives without seeking help. Their pain, their denial, and also their actions, they had an outward ripple effect. So they not only affected their own lives, but they had a big impact on the lives of people around them, their friends, their family, their loved ones. In the 1980s and the 1990s, where the story is set, mainly in the 1990s, there was hardly any social awareness related to psychological disorders. They often went unchecked, unidentified, and even when families were aware, they either tried to conceal it or they dismissed it as erratic behavior or eccentric behavior. Often you'd be surprised the solutions offered were to get these people married off without addressing the issue. So I wanted to explore that quiet devastation and also the resilience that emerges from it. So this book, it is as much about damage as it is about healing and self-discovery.
Thank you. Uh, in the prologue, you speak about memory, regret, and growing into sensibility. How did writing the story help you make peace with the past?
The prologue is Seher's present. Her words, where she is reminiscing about her past. Um, so basically, it echoes with my own sentiments very deeply. Like I said, my own lived experience inspired me to write this book. Um, Seher and Maya, they are good friends. They share a great relationship. But as the story unfolds, one of them realizes all is not what it seems. Talking about past regrets, I strongly believe that talking about the past, whether you write it down or you reflect on it, I think whether it's good or bad, it's very therapeutic. We often suppress painful memories, that cage us and bound us into an emotional snare, which is of our own making. We cannot erase our past, but yes, all that has transpired in the past, but we can distill it into something meaningful like a set of profound life lessons. There's a quote that I really like: never be a prisoner of your past, let it be a lesson learned for a better future. So I feel past regrets, they they are not an endured punishment for the rest of our lives. They are a collection of life lessons that have shaped us who we are today. They are not the chains that bind us.
Nice. So your protagonist, Maya, the character of Maya, is magnetic. Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah. The character of Maya is magnetic, flawed, but unforgettable. Who was she to you? A friend, a mirror, or an enigma you were still trying to understand?
Yeah, so the character of Maya that I've created is inspired by someone I knew from my past, someone I knew very closely. Um, she is she's a great friend of Seher, and she lives her life by her own rules, constantly defying societal norms. You know, she by her recalcitrant and rebellious behavior. Um, she is, yes, magnetic. She is feisty, someone who draws people towards her effortlessly. She's also deeply enigmatic. So they share some wonderful times, Seher and Maya. But like I said, as the story unfolds, you realize, you know, that all is not what it seems. In my own lived experience, there were certain complexities that I witnessed, which could have been dismissed or ignored as, you know, quirks or human foibles. But had they occurred once or twice, but you know, when a pattern starts to emerge and it starts to affect your life in a way that you cannot ignore, then a situation needs to be reevaluated. And then comes a dilemma that it's not family, so cutting off ties would be easy, right? You can just walk away from a relationship with a friend. Yet it is not simple. Shared histories and emotional bonds make disengagement far more complicated than how an outsider might perceive it.
Thank you. The bond between your narrator, Seher, and your protagonist, Maya, shifts between care and control. Were you exploring the thin line which is between friendship and emotional manipulation?
I'm glad, Khurram, you asked this question because A, it is very pertinent to the content of the book, and B, it is the consistent theme running through the narrative. And many of us constantly grapple with this shift between care and control in our relationships,
Yes.
trying to discern where care ends and control begins. So, you know, in French, sometimes friendships like marriage is complex. We do not set boundaries in either one, and I think that's when problems begin to arise.
So
So,
I have a follow-up. Sorry,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
please finish.
So I believe that when you reveal your most vulnerable side to another person, especially at the onset of a relationship, you become a very easy and potential target for manipulation. Now, this manipulation sometimes comes in the form of savior and other times as a victim. So, in both situations, it becomes increasingly difficult to distance yourself from the person and the relationship. Also, I'd like to add that this story is it has a broader scope than just complex friendship. Someone may be in an intimate relationship and be facing similar complications. So I think a lot of people will find resonance with the narrative.
So, why do you think we stay in friendships like this? Is it love? Is it loyalty? Is it fear?
Initially, of course, it's love, and like I said, we grapple with this constant jujitsu in our mind that uh, is it right to leave at this time when your friend is vulnerable, when your friend needs you? So loyalty does play a big role, but I also feel that if a pattern starts to emerge, like I said, you know, friendship or any relationship should not be endured. It has to be loved and nurtured.
So, your story is set in the Karachi of the 80s and the 90s, and it's very textured. The music, college life, the pulse of the city. How did you create this world so vividly?
Khurram, it's a reality that when you cross the 50 mark in the years, like I have, nostalgia begins to loom larger than the present. So those of us who grew up in the 1980s and 1990s would recall those decades as unmatched, despite the stringent edicts of General Zia's regime, in the 1980s. Those who came of age in the 70s would dispute that because they feel that was the best decade spent in Pakistan. They had more freedom, more liberty. Um, you know, Despite the absence of YouTube and Spotify or iTunes, music was the heartbeat of every household, whether religious or liberal or conservative. We would take pains going to the shops, making a playlist, going to the shops, getting our songs recorded, cassettes, CDs, or whatever. And also talking about outdoor activities, street cricket, badminton in the garden, squash in the garage, ping pong on an old dining table. These were like simple, inexpensive joys that cut across all strata of the society. Talking about the phone lines, there used to be one phone line, or maybe two in some families, and the entire family would queue up. They would line up to take their turns. Siblings would queue up to speak to their friends, boyfriends, girlfriends. So then there was downside as well, which I've mentioned in the book, the pervasive indoor smoking, which was like in workplace and homes alike. It was prevalent and without a care in the world for allergies or health risks that people may have. So we were culturally a very vibrant and alive society, and I could write about it because I've lived it in its complete, unfiltered wholesomeness. And I love reading about that era, and I'm just very grateful that I could archive a part of it in my own book.
So in this nostalgic trip down memory lane, what do you miss most?
I can't point out what I miss most. I love the freedom of taking a bike, riding outdoors, playing badminton outside and all, no matter how much we try or force our children. Now that I think social media and all has just taken over. But we who grew up in that era, I think I consider myself to be very lucky because we were the last people to live life without technology and the first to adopt it. So that makes us kind of special, our generation.
So this story draws from real experiences. How did you decide what to reveal, what to protect, and how to honor real people through fiction?
Yes, that drawing that line was very tricky for me. But when you write under the genre of fiction, you leave an ambiguity for the reader to wonder what is real and what is not, and that's what I've tried to do. There has not been a deliberate attempt to honor anyone or belittle anyone. There are no good guys or villains in the book. It's real life people that we experience, errant human beings that we experience in our life, we come across in our lives.
So the novel quietly challenges patriarchal norms and celebrates female agency. Did the feminist lens emerge intentionally, or was it organic?
See, the landscape, the backdrop of the book is the social landscape of those times. I grew up around very strong women. They were housewives also, and they were working women. Most of them were single women. My own mother, she was widowed at 38 years of age, and all my friends around me, they were living in matriarchal households with single moms. And these women were, I don't think much is talked about these housewives of that generation who were silent revolutionaries, their resilience and the way they sort of found space for themselves, the dignity. They were silent revolutionaries making space for our generation to have a better life, better environment, I would say. There's still a lot more that needs to be done. Then I got married into a family where, again, I came across such strong independent women. My mother-in-law, who's sitting here, She was a working woman, and she worked in the hospitality industry for many years, till the age of 75. And she was someone I always looked up to. And she was like an icon. She would even come home and wash her car. So, it was just amazing, these women around me. Then I also, as far as feminism, so it was all organic. Basically, this is what I witnessed, this is what I grew around. As far as feminism goes, I make my own boxes to tick. I do not subscribe to the Western brand of feminism, which thrives on loud slogans, and also the concept that equates kitchen ignorance to feminism. So I don't believe in all that. For me, these were true feminist women who I grew around.
There is much to be said about the quietly fierce feminism of that era. And I'm so glad that you celebrated it.
Thank you.
Was the process of writing My Friend Maya cathartic? Did it change your understanding of friendship and yourself?
Yes, like I said, it was about self-discovery, and you learn to put yourself first in relationships also. Um, but it was cathartic. But I had made peace with my past, uh, and then I wrote the book. So yeah, in a way, it was cathartic. Obviously, back of the mind, these big period of your history, it stays there. And like I said, that it's always therapeutic to talk about it. So yes, it was cathartic in a way.
Okay. So you've thanked family and friends in your book, and especially Sabah Karim Khan, Lightstone Publishers, for believing in you and encouraging you in this journey. What was the most transformative part of your publishing journey?
Yes, I would like to say a few words about my creative journey. I am a late bloomer. I published my first work in my 50s. And my friend Sabah Karim Khan, she had approached me 3 years ago. And she asked me to write a non-fiction piece for her anthology project. And why she asked me? Because I'm an avid reader, and I used to have these long discussions on book. And we share the same sort of ideas about many things. So I'm an avid reader. I average about 50 to 60 books in a year.
Wow.
Yeah. So well, that means Kindle, physical copy, and audiobooks. So that gave me the confidence to write. And yeah, so the journey began. And if anyone who is an aspiring writer and think that they're in their 50s and all, please don't think that you don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams. And I strongly urge everyone to read. I also have a book club that really helped me give insight from how people think, what sort of books people like. So yes, it was a interesting journey. It has
So
been.
my final question for you. If Maya was sitting in our audience here this evening, what would you want to say to her?
What I would say to her, well, it's in the prologue, in the epilogue of the book, so people will have to read it to find out what I would say to her. So I urge everyone to buy the book and read it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have an open floor for any questions we have from the audience. So we have a mic which we can. If anyone has a question for Amber.
Yeah. Are we good with time?
Lady in black. Okay.
It's okay. Maybe I can't hear you. I'm not.
Hi, Amber.
Hi.
I don't know anything about your book except for what you've discussed, but I was just wondering, just listening to what you've just said, that Seher is you and Maya is, your the person you've written about. Was this with consent of this person, or how do you feel that person would
No, it
feel
is-
about your book? Whatever issue you've addressed in the book.
Yeah, it's not, there is no consent. Like I said, I have written it under the genre of fiction. So that leaves an ambiguity, right? What is true, what is not. Most good fiction is written by inspired stories, that things have happened around you and all. So yeah, so you don't know whether 50% of the book is true, 50% isn't, 80% is true or not. So it just forms like a good story. And when you read it, I think you'd be able to tell. Thank you.
Yeah, hi Amber.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask, are you still friends with Maya? Maybe not after the book.
You'll have to read the book. You see, if I answer that question, I'm giving away the
She wants you to
conclusion.
buy the book.
Yes.
I had a question, like, is this this one book that you wrote, is that like some big important story you wanted to tell and now you're finished, or do you have more stories that you want to tell and more books coming out?
Yeah, so this book is inspired by, like I said, lived experience, but I am in the process of writing another book. I'm 3/4 done. So that's historical fiction, also based in Pakistan, around the 80s, and it sort of goes up. And that book is about relationships, love, heartbreak, politics, expats, diaspora, how we feel the crisis, identity crisis we go through. So it's got a lot of things packed in one. So hopefully I should be able to finish it in the first quarter of next year.
As you said, you read 50 to 60 books per year. How do you manage your time?
Yeah, so while I'm walking, I have a sleep disorder as well. So I leave it on my bedside. Then when I'm driving, I listen to books. So audio is that way. And then I'm a quick reader. Over time, I've become a very quick reader. So I'm reading like 2 books simultaneously. One I'm listening to and one I'm reading always. So yeah, so that helps.
Yeah, lady in green.
So I just wanted to ask, how do you feel today? How do you feel about the launch? And does it give you confidence in writing and going ahead with the second book as well?
Yes, what gave me the confidence was the first piece that got published earlier in Home It's Complicated. I just wrote it because she's a friend who asked me, and I received such an overwhelming response. Like, people called me and they said they've cried when they read my piece. So but the time that got published, I had already finished the draft of My Friend Maya. So I think it's always taking the first step, which is tough. And then you realize that if it has that kind of impact on others, then maybe you can write. So, yeah.
And another question, what do you think was the most difficult part about the book? I mean, writing it, editing it, or having it published?
The toughest part is finding a publisher. But for me, it just, when God wants something to happen, he sort of, ways paved, automatically things happen. So my very dear friend who's sitting here, she introduced me to Lightstone publisher, and I pitched my story to them, and they were interested, and then I just sent them the manuscript, and then I had to that agonizing wait of 1.5 months whether they'd approve or not. So I went through that, but I think that is a lot of people write, they want to write. The finding the right publisher, I think is the toughest. Also, like, editing has become a lot easier with the apps and all that are there, that are present. So I think finding a publisher, I'm sure people who are aspiring writers, they would struggle with that. That's the toughest thing. Yeah.
Shall I ask? Well, first of all, congratulations on publishing your book.
Thank you.
And I was just wondering if you might consider reading out a small favorite passage or excerpt for us, just in your own voice, to hear a bit of what you've written.
Okay,
if that's
I'll just
possible.
see if we have time.
We're down 24 minutes. So.
Oh, okay, thank you. So, I just got hold of the book just today. So I'll just read the prologue. It is short because we are short of time. The prologue, because Khurram had directed a question at the prologue. So, ruminations of the years gone by open up a trunk of memories, some vivid, some not so. Looking back, one surmises that a few miscalculations of the lived past prove as significant as the cherished moments. Every step is a big baby step into maturity, a leap to sensibility, and insight into human relations. The regrets, in a way, function as protective armor against missteps in ensuing times. You learn to tread gingerly with circumspection as you navigate the arc that constitutes the future. Somewhere in my brain, the memory of my friend Maya remains an enduring presence, lucid, looming significant in a mental folder which uninvitingly opens up time and again, cascading a chronologically organized vignette, reverberating, echoing, rapping, tapping rhythmically against the walls of my consciousness, reminding me of the impact she had on my life. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
And wish you all the very best with your
Thank
debut
you.
novel.
Please buy the book.
The book is available on lights at the Lightstone stall. So please, it's freely available there. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next session here is a book talk, Shabbar Zaidi's 32 Onker Road. Salim Raza in conversation with the author. Thank you.
The announcement.